Oh, boy, 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 and hello, everybody. How are clock PM on the clock, May 6th, 2024? Amazing, I tell you. This restream, and it's working out very, very well. It's working out really, really well. I'm really excited to be here. I didn't think it was going to be good, but I'm so glad that it is. And I was worried, really worried about that. Let me write a hello to everyone so they'll see it in their chats around the web there. Um, yeah, I was concerned that it wouldn't work. I mean, it might help if I turn my keyboard on. I forget all the time. But anyway, um, interesting day, folks. Really, really interesting day. I met a chef today, top chef today, and we were talking about truffles and mushrooms. And we were talking about the different types of truffles and the different types of mushrooms. And I didn't realize that this was such a big deal until I watched a guy that's making about 1 million a year selling these truffles and mushrooms and trading them and around the world and selling them to the top chefs in New York and Los Angeles and other places, and really amazing stuff. I mean, you hear people saying, I can't get a job and I'm broke and I need money, but you know, I know a girl up here in the Pacific North that goes out, just a regular. She goes out with her 3 or 4 buckets, and she goes out to the forest about 5 miles, 7 miles, whatever, and she collects buckets of these things, which it's illegal. You're supposed to only get a half a bucket, I think. But anyway, she sneaks back to her car and she knows the routes and she collects these truffles and mushrooms and she dries them in a certain way. She keeps some of them for medicinal purposes, and she sells others to the restaurants and she keeps the rest. But she's making really good money. I mean, this girl is a caterer also. She cooks at home and then caters certain little events. It's amazing to me that people say, I can't find a job, man. There's no work anywhere. You can always something like that. Think about that. That doesn't require a great amount of skill, really, and requires a little leg work, and it's muddy. You get a little muddy, a little dirty. Wear your boots. And then gold panning is the other big deal where we are up here. There's gold everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere. You're walking on it everywhere up here. You just have to be able to pan it. And now they have the Garrett super, super ultra sensitive um, metal detectors that actually discriminate and tell you it's gold or a diamond ring or whatever, silver, whatever, and that's amazing. So Marion and I are going to start doing a few of these little escapades, extracurricular activities, and I just think it's great. I just really do think it is wonderful, and it's a lot of fun too. I've been gold panning before. I've never been truffle hunting. I've never gone mushroom hunting. I've seen mushrooms in the wild, and I've looked at their beauty, just marveled at their beauty, but I've never picked them because I've always been afraid that I would get poisoned, because some of them are deadly poison. They'll kill you just like that, like cyanide or something. Uh, um, Falls, I've never dug for any to go down to the shallower, more shallow rivers with the rocks everywhere and then find the perfect spot where the gold lands in the corners of the rivers. And I like to go in there and dig and pan, dig and pan, dig and pan. You can just spend all day digging and panning, and every once in a while, bango, you hit the big mark, and you'll find a nugget, that's worth $30 or $100 or $50,000. I mean, you could run into a vein. I mean, who knows, And that's the mystery of it, and that's the fun of it. Really, is just the unknown. What are you going to catch that day? What are you going to get that day? And speaking of catch, I love to fish too. So Marion and I do it all. We love the outdoors. We love nature. We love the trees and the grasses and the meadows and the valleys and the mountains. And we just love to be out in nature, because we're so in touch with nature. We're so much one with nature. We can feel the camaraderie. We can feel the oneness with the outdoors. And to get away from the rat race, I was just talking to a friend of mine here a while ago. This is a rat race. Where we are stationed right now is just loud. Oh my God, is it loud? We're right next to a car wash, and the blower. We're right next to the blower, and it's just like a 747 going off every six. Well, every I don't know what, every 30, every 60 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever. It kicks in, rattling the whole unit. And it's just the cars are going by 100 miles an hour, and it's people are honking their horns and slamming on their brakes. I mean, I know this has got to be affecting me physiologically, psychologically, spiritually. It's got to be affecting Mary. I mean, it's just constant barrage of disruption of frequency, disruption of the body chemistry and the synchronicity and balance that perfect frequency like 428 brings to one or 521 or something like that. So we want to get away from the rat race, but we're afraid if we leave our station where we are stationed, we might not get to come back. I'm going to have to figure out a way to kind of ensure that we get to come back. Um, I would hate to leave and go out in the forest where I just talked to a friend of mine. He told me where to go, where it's beautiful. They have waterfalls and everything out there. I want to go out there and just take a couple of days and just rest and relax in nature. And it's right by the lake, and the waterfalls are beautiful. I can't wait. And, you know, it's just fantastic. I'm waiting for Chris. He said he was coming on tonight. Tim's not here yet. We're running on about 10 platforms, I think. Somebody just rolled in. I don't know who that is. Let me see who that's. Yeah, that's Chris. So, anyway, I want to take a couple of days off and gold pan and just go out there in the rivers. They're full of gold, 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 gold. People these days so lazy, so lazy, so lazy, so lazy when it comes to getting out in the wild and doing things. I mean, our rivers are just full of gold up here. Literally probably millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of gold in these rivers, and people have stopped panning. They've stopped going after the gold. They just go to the jewelry store and get ripped off. They don't want to spend 3 or 4, 5, 6, 8 days finding $40 or $50 worth of gold, or they find a nugget that's worth, like I said, $1,000. They don't want to do it. And I didn't tell you those tools that we're going to start looking for. They're $20, $50, and $1,000 a pound. And we're walking on those everywhere up here, literally walking on gold and walking on platinum and walking on precious nature. And why not take advantage of that? Why not? Why not take advantage of that and just relax for a while? Like I said, the place we're in right now is just nerve wracking, literally nerve wracking. I know zombies everywhere, homeless people everywhere, fights and domestic violence and murder and thievery, and all kinds of drug addiction and drug deals going on. We have to we're security also, so we have to kind of take care of those situations, and it's dangerous. And then the car is going by, zipping by 60 miles, 70 miles an hour. People screaming. We have homeless people that are schizophrenic. They come by every day, cursing all the traffic. I'm not even going to curse on here, but just cursing everybody. Ah, you snot dead blind son of a god damn you! I have to listen to all that stuff every single day, and I know it's scrambling my brain. I mean, I know it's got to be scrambling my brain. I need a break, folks. I need a break. I need a break. I need a break. You know. Hello, Chris. How you doing?
Not bad, not bad. You know, it'd probably be very soothing to go out there into the creek and pan for gold and kind of step away. And when you talk about the the truffles and the morels and all the different mushrooms
Yeah.
that grow wild,
Yeah.
um, I call that earth wealth,
Yeah.
and that's the part that even having maple trees, you turn around and you string hoses from one tree to the other with
Yeah.
cork inside the tree, and next thing you know, you're producing maple syrup at the end of it.
Yeah.
And
People have lost all those skills, Chris. They just don't. It's not no. They never had those skills, Chris. It's not that they've lost them. I mean, it's just that people want everything on the fly. They want it now. They want it right now. They want to just drive up to the door of a store and drive away with whatever. They don't think about nature, how beautiful and how wonderful and wondrous and magical and how lucrative it can be to go out there. I mean, I was talking about the new Garrett metal detectors that with discriminators on them. You can take one of those, and Marion and I can take two of those, and we can go to certain places on the map up here where old towns used to be. We can buy the old maps. We can get the old maps. We can go where these old towns used to be. I used to do it, by the way, and find old coins that are worth $30 here, $100 there, $150 there, old everything world. And people won't even do that because they just don't have the critical thinking skills to do that, Chris.
no, they don't have the critical thinking skills. And if you turn around and say, "Hey, you ain't got the critical thinking skills," they turn around and have an argument with you, and they'll get real critical and find out that they have no skills whatsoever on how they're supposed to handle any situation.
Yeah,
But they can't go out there and learn things that isn't a service industry anymore. That's the whole thing. It's about what can be done for me. That I don't have to do because I'm lazy. And
yeah,
the thing, man, those things out here in nature, they're actually enjoyable. They're
yeah,
soothing,
yeah,
and they're they're really beautiful. And the thing is, people live in a concrete jungle. 82% of the earth of the United States lives on two squares of a chessboard, and all the rest of that is, and 47% of that other number has never been even lived on or walked on by a human
yeah,
being
yeah. Except
because
for the
people are
natives.
too damn lazy to go explore. Yeah, except for the
Yeah,
natives back in the day.
yeah, yeah. And you can go to those old Civil War places. I have a friend named Gary, and he goes to where the old Civil War battles were fought, and he has his metal detector, and he gets the buckles, and he gets all the different Civil War memorabilia, and he has a whole collection of it, and he's made money, 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 money just going to those old places and old post offices. They're on the map from back in the 1800s. Post offices, 1780 and up, and boom towns, all kinds of stuff. Has got a room just covered with stuff that he's found. Tonight, I don't know. I got off on that, and it's just beautiful to get off on that conversation. Kind of take off on that tonight. I wanted to discuss the massive lack of intuitiveness and depth of comprehension and curiosity about why we're in this situation that we are in right now, and how it has to do with, well, yes, energy, vibration, and frequency, but there again, that doesn't that that just makes me sound like some guy spouting off some big words or whatever. But Chris knows that I could teach a whole course on that, but it's like they've forgotten the Oxford World Dictionary. It's like you go to the Oxford Dictionary and you find one word, and it will take you 3 pages of that back. The history of that word, where it came from, and your whole life changes. Your whole perspective changes. All of your perception changes because the words that we've been bottlenecked into have been very well scripted and chosen for the specific reason of keeping us in a specific place, doing specific things, acting in specific ways. And the iterations of these words over 5,000 years, 10,000 years have changed a million times to mean something else. And so when you really stop and think about this, like when you look up the word human, Chris and I were talking the other night about human means monster. If you look in just Black's Law Dictionary, human means monster. Means slave of the corporation of the United States Incorporated. And a person is a person is not free. A person is a bond slave. So you're an individual with blood, breath, and bone. And that's all. You don't even have a last name. Let me freak all of you out. You don't even have a last name. Last names mean nothing, folks. Nothing whatsoever unless you're a part of a Soros or Rothschild bloodline with a crest and you've got this bloodline going back to however long, you want to try to trace it. But, you know, uh, when you go to court, okay, when you go to court, what is a basketball uh, place called? A court, basketball court. What about a tennis court? You're playing a game, and you come into a judge, Jesuit judge, black robe. You're birthed in the court on the docket, which is maritime law, water, the law of water, the law of maritime. You're on the high seas when you're in the court and you're judged under maritime law. You're a dead person when you approach the bench. You're a dead person. You're a dead citizen. If you're a citizen, you're dead. If you're a person, you're dead. And if you admit to being that, is so and so here? I don't see him. I'm not that. I'm not that. People, they don't say that though. They say, "Yes, I'm here, Your Honor, and I understand," which means you've gone under him now, and you've got a contract with the court and the judge. People don't think about how quick they can get themselves in trouble in court or with a police officer on the street being stopped. They don't understand the importance of words. They don't have any idea what they're talking about. They don't understand where these things come from. And yes, I said because you need to get under to stand on the foundation. All of you right now are having the most stupid conversation. You wouldn't admit to that right now. You'd have to listen to me a while teaching on this. And the most stupid conversations. And you wouldn't believe. Um, what kind of a turn those conversations would take if you and her or you and him or whatever would take the time to go back and study the roots of these words and where they come from and what they really mean. Like L, for instance. What is L? Does anyone know? God. El, Elohim, Elashua, Ashua, Yeshua, Yeshua. Um, El, God. El, Elite. El, Illuminati. Think about all of these things that roll off your tongue every day, and you're having conversations with other avatars, and you're both speaking mumbo jumbo dumbo, and you don't even know that you're keeping yourself boxed into this paradigm that you're trapped in. This is why they call it the matrix. This is why they call it the matrix, is because you're speaking a language that's made for and programmed in the matrix. It's not programmed outside the matrix. It's programmed specifically for the matrix. These things have evolved, these words, and words are vibrations. Words are only vibrations and energy and frequency. That's all they are. That's all they are, okay? And somehow over eons of time, the brain is individually calculating and creating this sense of reality in the matrix. Okay. So you got to stop and think about all of these things. The current, the bank. The bank is the court. The docket is the court. The water is the money, the currency. The black robe stands for banker. The judge is the banker. Tim, please mute yourself, or I'll have to do it for you. I'll do it for you right now. Thank you. Um, so the bank, you're on the bank, you're in the bank. When you're with the judge, he's the banker. The judge is the banker. This is why he wears a black robe. Your honor. Why should you stand for any man? Tell me, why should you stand for any man? Why should you stand for any man? Um, I I've almost been arrested twice for not standing in court. I refuse to stand for any man. Okay. Um, a king, a lord, a prince. All of these things are made up. They're all fictional, but everyone's brainwashed to believe all of these things. Look at the monarchy in England. Look at the monarchy. Look at the patriarchs. Look at the crest. Look at the family lines. Look at the worship of these people. Look at the admiration for these people. A lot of people in England, they want the monarchy just to go away. They want a regular government of some kind, and they would prefer a common law, uh, social, compact kind of democracy instead of a monarchy. I mean, who wants a monarchy? What is monarchy? What is it? A bunch of people parading around in funny costumes with horses with sticking out of their head, you know, and the Pope. Pope Francis has shaken the world. I mean, Pope Francis has shaken the world. The Pope has shaken the world by coming out and blessing gay marriage, by coming out and saying that a woman can go to heaven if she has an abortion and can be forgiven. He's come out and said that there is no hell, which I've known all along. People that are educated and people that actually have a brain, they know that all this silly stuff has been written into the plan to make you stupid. And afraid and scared and terrified. But the come on, connection. The Pope has split the Catholic Church right down the middle. and Chris, I'll get back to you in a minute on this and let you give your opinion. But the Pope has split the church right down the middle, and I love what he's doing. I really do. I love to see stuff like this happen. I just love it. He's talked about the life of Jesus is nothing like the New and Old Testament. He's literally obliterated literally obliterated the New and the Old Testament, which, the Vatican has 57 miles of shelves of ancient text. Okay, so the guy's got to be real smart. Okay, he hangs out down there a lot, by the way. The Inquisition. Look at the Inquisition. 130 million people slaughtered for Christ, for God. 130 million people just wiped off the face of the planet because God said so. Look at the Reformation. Look at all of the different things with Constantine and Constantinople. Look at all of these things. Here comes the Christians to save you. Oh, the Christians are coming to save the natives. Oh, the Christians are coming to build Sunday schools, and the Christians are coming to teach everyone about Jesus. Well, the Pope came out and said Jesus went to Tibet. I've told you all this. He went to Egypt. He went to Tibet. He went to South Africa, which Pangea had split then. But he went to study 13 years martial arts and kung fu and tai chi and many other forms of meditation. And he learned all of these mystical things and magical things. And then he came and rode into town on a donkey. They have him riding into town on a donkey. Okay, when he comes back, stop and think about the silliness in all of this. You listen to Billy Carson talk about the Doggone tribes and the Atlanteans and the reptilians and the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki. The Anunnaki came from Palladians. You look at the Palladians. When you study all of these ancient societies, which I could name 35 or 50 right now, and they all have similar stories about the same aliens that came, ETs that came and interacted with them and taught them their technologies and science and gave them all of these things. And so the Christians refuse to talk about this. If you'll notice, flip on your TV to the religious channels and see if they're up there talking about ETs. See if they're talking about the extraterrestrial. No, they're not. And that was 90% of it for 400,000 years. It's amazing all of these possibilities of existence. Also, I wanted to say this, and then I'm gonna let Chris pop in. It's amazing when you have a brain and you think, now wait a minute, we may be in a simulation, we may be a simulation, we may be the simulation, we may be the substrate. We may be a manifestation of the substrate. We may have come from a one celled amoeba to a two cell with a spinal cord and was able to wiggle our way up to Cro Magna and Homo sapiens sapi, and then evolve. And then now we're only 10% statement, ladies and gentlemen. That's not a real neurological assessment. Okay. Metaphorically, people use about 10%, some people 8%, some people 7% of their brain when they could be using 20. Now, if we use 20% of our brain, we would be telepathy would be easy. Levitation would be simple. All of these other magical, wonderful things would be, you'd be a superhero. And at 30 or 40%, you would be, oh my gosh, yeah, it would be unbelievable. And at 100%, you would just cease to exist. You would just of the totality of the dream within the dream. If you could use 100% of the synapses and the neurons that are there, the neurons match the stars in the visible universe in your brain. You have that many stars in the visible universe. So people don't think about that. People don't hardly think at all. Okay, you know how I'm always saying you need to learn to think about thinking. People don't know how to think about thinking. What does that mean to think about thinking? What does it mean to be conscious of consciousness? It's kind of like taking a step back as we do in neuroimaging and placing yourself in the audience, seeing yourself on stage as to how you may be acting or behaving, and taking a real close look at this and analyzing this on a very comprehensive level and say, now, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. Let me go back and look at these other things here and let me inject that into the stage play. Let me go back. I'm eventually in, but right now I'm just stepping back and watching my character at work. Okay. And when you really do that, you're doing the inner work. You're doing the inner work. Very few of you take the time to live in the present on the show many times. Most of you are living in the past or the future. Most of you are thinking about what you did yesterday or did do yesterday, if should have done yesterday, or what you're going to do tomorrow, or why you should do what you're supposed to do tomorrow, and why you're not supposed to do what you're supposed to do tomorrow. Very few of you ever live in the present. Very few of you have ever visited the present. And I'm going to tell you right now, it'll blow your mind if you live in the. If you're able to even touch that, it will blow your mind. So don't tell me that you've lived in the present. Oh, I've done that a few times, Kyler. No, you haven't. Because if you did, you would come on with me right now and say, oh my gosh, whoa. There's no words to even describe standing in that present moment. There's no words to even describe standing in that present moment. There's always the past, which doesn't exist, simply doesn't exist. Time exists. 1 plus 1 does not equal 2. 2 plus 2 does not equal 4. That's ridiculous. Calculations are ridiculous. Symbology is ridiculous. Numerology is ridiculous. People don't understand that, though. Did the numerology come with the existence, or did the existence come with the numerology, or because of the numerology? Do we need a watchmaker? Do we need a watchmaker? Do we need a substrate? Why couldn't everything just be? And then you have to think, well, if I'm in a simulation, what's outside the simulation? And then what's outside of that simulation? And then what's outside of that simulation? And then if there is a God, then who created God? What created God? And then what created that God? And what created that God? And what created that God? And people say, well, God was just here forever. God is the Alpha and the Omega. Well, that's insane. It's all insane. All of it's insane. It doesn't make any sense. We don't have the capacity to even touch any of that. We don't know who we are. We don't know where we are. We don't know what we are. We don't know why we are. And we don't know if we are. Chris, you want to take up on some of this brilliance tonight? God, if Chris is gone again, I'm going to just jump through a window, I think. I really am. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, those are reaching people. I mean, we are reaching so many people. It's unbelievable. So happy that Marion has myself built this massive network that just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. It's unbounded. It's boundless. It's boundless, and we just keep growing. And because of any of you, unfortunately, it could be. You know, Marion was saying today something very interesting. Actually, this morning, Marion was saying, you know, if just five people, if we could just find five individuals that would plant the uh, the coding, the copy code, three of their platforms. That's 16 platforms. If we could just find five people, we haven't even been able to find one person to call and say, "I'm going to plant the code on my page, my Facebook page." Not even our inner circle has done that. And we've got a website code for your website to play permanently. You know, Chris, are you there? Are you with us? You want to place that code permanently? You want Marion to be administrator like she is with Doctor You Know Who, and let her upgrade that website and do the search engine optimizations and keywords and analytics? Well, I guess Chris is gone again. I don't know what's going on here. He must be driving. Yeah, he must be driving. He would be much happier if he was driving on the driving course at the golf course, on the driving range, hitting a few balls. That would be pretty cool. But ladies and gentlemen, we we've worked so hard to kind of transition over to this new station. Marion has worked her head off on her new projects that she's dealing with and working with. She's doing all of these wonderful, wonderful things. These stores, these e-stores, and she's selling some beautiful products and getting ready to launch a few stores, a few different things going on. And it's all about healing. It's all about naturopathic medicine, homeopathic medicine. It's all about synchronicity and balance and healing. And it's all good. It's all good. It's all beautiful. It's all about energy, frequency, and vibration. All of those things that we need, a lot of. And it's just amazing that she's all of a sudden kind of springing forth. She's been asleep for a while, like Rumpelstiltskin, and now she's springing forth. I hope she doesn't go back into her hole that she was in, which is so easy to do in this day and time. It's so easy to just crawl back in your comfort zone when you look out there and you see the dummies you have to work with, and all the clueless morons that you have to deal with, and all of the boundaries that people set up, and all of the paranoia and distrust and mistrust you have to deal with, crazy avatars, crazy avatars, avatars gone mad, avatars on crack, literally. When you see the the canvas that you're painting on, it's a terrible thing. And to find people that are motivated, and to find people that are calm and cool and collected and can grasp what we do here at the station and with Global Communications Network, with Destiny, and with all of our other missions and crisis outreach and disaster team and Center for Living, Loving, and Learning, and all of the critical outreach that we do. When we can find someone that's actually able to grasp all of that and become a part of it, it's not about us. It's not about everyone. But the problem is we don't see everyone. They're not here. Back, I will speak. It's hard to find who want to join the team and be a team player and work with us on our many projects, which are going to eventually um, be very profitable to not only the nonprofit but also to the for-profit end of things. And Marion and I have ended up just having to do all these things by ourselves, and it's a little sad. It's a little disappointing, but we've managed to get through it, and we're working through it. Marion more than me. Mary's we're doing all the hard work, and I'm doing the advising and consulting as best I can, and writing and designing and all of these other things. So we work together as a really good team. But it would really be great if we had. Oh, I'm not even going to mention the Super Seven, or I'll start crying. It would be so wonderful if we had five more, you know, highly intelligent, highly motivated people like ourselves on this team would just be unbeatable to do together. Whoa, it would be just, it would be monumental, magnificent, unbelievable, incomprehensible what we could do together. When people just can't get that, they just can't get that concept works, you know. And it's a very, very sad thing. I know that many of you are dealing with the same situation because I read about you on Facebook. I listen to your posts. I read your post. I listen to your videos, to your TikToks, and you're all many of you are going through the same exact bullshit that we're going through with other avatars, not giving a damn, not having the brains to comprehend and grasp what on a higher level, that higher level of consciousness and that awareness, that they need to be a part of a team as ours. We know we're not the only ones, and that helps me a lot to not just jump out of a third story window, is to know that there's so many people out there just like us, so many people out us, millions of people just like us. Um, and that makes it to where we can get through it a little better. Not much, but a little bit better. And it's also sad to know that there are that many people looking for that many people that can find any people to do what they're trying to do, accomplish what they're trying to help. They can't get the assistance. They can't just get across to people what teamwork really means. What is teamwork? Does it mean to even have a team? None of you can tell me comprehensively, completely from a highly academic socio-psychological level. You can what it means to have a real. Chris, you want to tackle that one, or are you still gone?
Yeah, no, I'll jump in here a little bit because one thing about a team is everyone has a part to play in a team. Now, some of them might be a freaking superstar. They might be making all the goals. But if you ain't got them
Thank
people
you.
out there that's
Thank
doing the garden and the blocking and the bullshit, you're going to get your damn superstar ass whooped. So you can be a superstar all you want, but to be the true team, it takes everyone to work in unison. And you can't say, I'm better than you because I do more than you. You're too fucking lazy because you don't do nothing. That's not
Well. Let me
teamwork. That's team breakdown.
break in. Let me break in as I always do and say that that's just normally, naturally occurring. That will occur naturally. Everyone knows who's on the top of the pile in the team. Everybody knows who's the smartest and who's the fastest and who's the most clever and most creative and all that.
Okay, so what does that mean? Does that just mean that's a captain maybe of a team
Everybody
that,
knows.
but nobody really knows. And the one part about it is
Everybody knows
to
on the
do.
team. On so and see
I
everybody
I,
doesn't.
I
Everybody can't get a blue ribbon. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody can't get a blue ribbon.
And they don't. Well, see, wait a minute. Yes, they can, because if they're on the team and the team won, they all get a fucking blue ribbon. That's the
Well, I'm
difference.
talking in a different
If you
context.
are a team, oh yeah, I'm talking in a team. I'm talking in the academic. We're going to talk academics. You said nobody could have a qualified answer here, and I can, on the fact that I am working with some teams. I've got teams of people. That's the funniest part. You know, we talk about the Super 7. Hell, I got Super 77 of teams, different ones. I won't put you two together because you two fuckers can't play together. So y'all are adversaries at the moment because it feels like if one ain't doing enough for the other, you're going to start fighting. No, if you do what the hell needs to be done, and it doesn't matter if it was enough of this one or someone else had to come in and fill in because this one's got a limp on his leg right now and he can't do it. So needs a little bit of fucking help, and that's where the relief comes in. That's what a team is about, because there's usually a first, a second, a third, and a fourth string. You've got people that are sitting there and ain't never going to do dick during the game, but they're still going to win, and they get the ring at the end. So there's a way of learning how to be a team and knowing what that is. And that is how the growth happens, because you don't talk about what they haven't done. You talk about what they have done. And that you talk about all of that part. You don't put the destroy in there. You take the dis out of your mouth. You know what I mean? You want to employ what they're and empower what they're doing, and not push them down. Teamwork is, there's going to be a problem, and if you're human or a humanoid or whatever the hell you are, you're going to error, because guess what? You are not a program that runs without a glitch. And to me, you know, hell, we're the virus on this planet. So all if everything is going on, we're the ones, them worms that are trying to that we need to keep out. So that's one thing that what's all about. But you know, teamwork is a teamwork. It's not the one person in no way, shape, or form. And can one person point out another because you're not being a teammate? It doesn't work that way. So there is some logical ways to discuss it, but you need to understand there's a first string, second string, third string, and fourth string, and not all of them are going to play, but they will win the game if the team wins. Well, it looks like he had a technical difficulty. Um, I just got a text message from him, and he lost all power and broadcasting. Um, I'm telling him that the show is still on, and let's see if he can pop back in. Of course, I got my little baby here trying. He's wanting up on my lap, and let's see if he can get fired back up. If not, we will shut down for the day. But I broadcasting out or not, if the show's still going. It shows I'm still got full signal and everything is still broadcasting, so I'm pretty sure we have our audience. And you know, I hope that at the non-collegiate level, people understand what I was saying about it takes that fourth string. And if you think that those people are Heisman winners, they're not. But they'll help you get and achieve what you need to do. That's the thing. You get hurt, they're coming in, they got your back. Somebody's going to fill in. You know, that's what teamwork's about. So I hope you guys get that. And I think he's down for the night, so we will shut down for the day. And I hope everybody has a great evening, and we will pick back up tomorrow.